Hi everybody, it's Carla. It's been a cold and blustery and about to rain, dreary looking day all day in Alabama today. It was a good day to work on this little Lee Middleton Reva Schick doll from 1997. That makes her 21 years old this year. And she was from the thrift store. I got her for $2.99 last week. I also got the little outfit that she's wearing, and I was going to put that on her as soon as I could get her cleaned up and all renovated. So I want to show you first her little outfit. The top is from Faded Glory, and it's a size newborn. The pants are from Garanimals, size 0 to 3 months. Her socks were from a new card of 2 socks from Carter's, and they were 0 to 6 months. She's wearing a thrifted headband that I had in my stash from before, and it's got a little thrifted bow that was hot glued to it. And here's her little thrifted teddy bear, and it was blue to go with her gorgeous blue eyes. Just to remind you what she looked like last week when I got her, she was very dirty. Her color was faded. She had almost no color on her lips. She had some dark black, like magic marker kind of stuff around her eyes. Probably wasn't magic marker because it did come off when I used my hand sanitizer to clean all the vinyl parts. And after I cleaned the vinyl parts, I rinsed them in warm water and got them ready to paint. I did paint her with air dry acrylic paints, and I did seal her paint afterwards, so it's not going anywhere. She's got glossed and tip nails now. She's got glossed lips, glossed nostrils. I glossed on the inner and outer corners of her eyes and on the inside folds of her ears. I followed the slight eyebrow line that was on the Lee Middleton doll. It had very few hairs left or painted on there, but I added some more in with my brown acrylic paint. And she's got real pretty baby pink lips, slight blushing on her cheeks, her chin, the top of her nose, and up to her nose ridge line between her eyes, and on the tops of her hands and feet, and on the palms of her hands and the soles of her feet. So she's got a little bit more color. She's got quarter limbs, and that means her body has 3/4 cloth. And when I took her apart to work on her, I also washed her body and used that one again. The other one I had that was of that same type of body, it was slightly smaller, and I wanted to keep her the same size as she was when I got her. Here you'll see where her little leg was just hanging free inside the sleeper when I bought her. And yeah, we had to fix that. So she got all new zip ties. She got new polyfill batting for stuffing. I didn't have cluster fluff, and I didn't want to use the old stuffing. So this little baby, she was weighted really nicely. We'll come to find out that at the bottom, right before the vinyl part right there, was a pouch of poly pellets that was in like a nylon bag, and there was one in each leg and one in each arm, and then the rest of the limb was just stuffed with polyfill. Well, I had some extra of those packets, so I ended up putting 2 poly pellet packets in each limb, and I rolled them up into a cylinder inside of that batting, and I stuffed the whole batting cylinder into each limb. So she's actually got what appears to be like a natural joint right here in her elbow and in her knees where that her legs can bend. And her body also has the jointed discs to the cloth body, so you can move her arms and legs up and down, but you can also bend them at the joints, which makes her very poseable. And I like the feel of that. The weighting was more than what she started with, and I thought that felt good. Even though there's a hole in the top of this vinyl, and the Lee Middleton doll vinyl, at least this one, is very heavy and didn't need any added weight. The way I weighted her with the 2 packets weighted her very nicely. I did the same thing for the inside of her body. She came with 1 large packet of pellets, and I had another one, so she's got 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top, and I did it the same way. I wrapped a thin layer of the polyester polyfill batting around that packet, stuffed 1 in the bottom half of her body and 1 in the chest half of her body, and it's very squishy. You don't feel the pellets because they're deep inside the batting, so they turned out very nicely. I put a couple of small pellet packets in her head for weight, and then I finished just filling her head out with the polyester polyfill batting. And so she's weighted very nicely. I don't have a neck ring on her, but she can move her head side to side. And yeah, she doesn't move her head, twist it, back and forth like that. But it can be moved because she's got some a little bit of limberness up there in her neck area. And yeah, I think she turned out really, really sweet. And she was fun to work on. I didn't put any eyelashes on her. She didn't come with eyelashes. And once I cleaned her eyes, I just left them like they were. And I can't use my hands very well to apply glue and applied lashes. And her vinyl it's thick and it's also kind of hard. So I really couldn't, put eyelashes in, or at least I didn't know how to root any eyelashes for her. And there's her pretty hair, which is a wig, but it come out very nicely when I cleaned it. And I think she turned out pretty. And you're seeing her in the evening light, so I'll try to get pictures up of her sometime this week in daylight and maybe a different outfit, and you can see how she looks. Because everything's so pink, it kind of casts more pink to her than maybe she actually has on her. But I'll show you without her little thumb in her mouth, and there we can adapt a pacifier to fit because she's got a very deep mouth to accommodate her little thumb. And I think she could hold a modified pacifier really nicely. So there's a pretty baby there. And you can see her pretty eyes, the whites of her eyes. I probably got 99% of all that darkness and all the grime off of her. But that's what they look like to start with. Yeah. So thank you all for your interest in her. And I'm glad that you liked her, and she was definitely a nice little find at the thrift store. And rather than going out and paying a lot of money for kits and stuff, you can redo these, and they come out just as sweet and cuddly, just as lovable. And yeah, they're not the real expensive and everybody wants a particular kind of kit, but they're another way to have a little reborn at a reasonable cost and have the fun of reborning them, because they don't have to be totally painted. They got a real pretty complexion, but they got to be cleaned and then add painted accents to them to suit you the way that you would like them to be. I even had thought of dyeing her hair, because I have dyed one doll's hair in the past and it came out very nicely, and I still might do that at a future time, but right now she's a real pretty little blonde and I think she turned out sweet. So thank you all for watching, and we will talk to you later. And I appreciate everyone's kind comments. Okay, bye.